Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I have two Just No Mail stories, both written by the same OP, an OP who was a wedding photographer who shares her tales about mills in the wild. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? The pink stained dress, aka the time this photographer witnessed a beautiful takedown of a mom wearing white at a wedding. I work as a professional photographer, specializing in weddings and births. They keep me very busy, and I don't have to deal with baddie clients too often, but holy sh*, y'all, my clients have some crazy family that I have to deal with, and often it's the moms. This story starts with a simple wedding, and it was a beautiful one. The event had been pretty chill up until we were getting ready to get the bride into her dress. We were doing a first look between her and the groom, so there was about 3 hours before the ceremony to go, and she started asking where her mother was. The maid of honor went looking for mom and came back after 10 minutes, told the bride she was getting dressed and would be in soon. She had this look on her face where I could tell she was holding something in. I'm super good at reading body language, and weddings have solidified that talent, so I pulled her aside to see what was up. It's a major part of my job, both at weddings and births, to keep my client calm and to keep the day moving, so I wanted to see what I could do to ensure that happened. The maid of honor told me that mom was getting dressed, but that her dress was cream colored, and she knew that the bride was going to be pissed. Ha ha ha. Awesome, I remember thinking to myself. I asked the maid of honor where mom was so that I could go see this train wreck from the beginning. She took me back, and lo and behold, she was dressed in a wedding dress. It wasn't stark white, but an ivory, came to her knees, and honestly looked pretty good in it. Like, had it been any color than what it was, it would have been perfect. She asked me if her daughter was ready for her to come in, and I hit the brakes on that. I ended up saying the bride was using the restroom and to wait up. I would come and get her when she was ready. I needed a game plan, and I needed one fast. I decided honesty is the best policy, because I knew that seeing her mom in the dress without preparation would upset her more. So I pulled the bride aside and told her exactly what she was wearing. I showed her a photo that I had taken covertly with my camera and told her that there was plenty of time to make mom go and get a new dress if that's what she wanted us to do. Sidebar, I don't around at my weddings. In fact, I have a cooperation clause in my contract that states that if a family, party member, or friend causes problems during the day that delays my ability to do my job, I have the right to remove them from the situation and not allow them to be involved in the photos. And I have the right to be as snarky as I want during that process. Although, usually I remove them while being kind because it infuriates the offender even further. I stress this clause to my couples when booking because I want them to know that I have no problem being the bitchy photographer, that I am only working for them, and my only concern is getting them down the aisle, keeping anyone from dying, and getting great photos. So if I have to verbally punt grandma, by God, I will. My clients adore this clause because they don't have to be the bad guy. I'm their own personal Clint Eastwood, complete with resting bitch face and a sarcastic tone to match. I tell the bride that I can handle this, and she says she wants me to do it in front of her so that if her mom throws a fit, she can shut it down. Mom comes in, and right away, she starts in about how great her dress is, how good it looks on her, and how the color complements her skin tone. All of which was true, sadly. The bride says, "Mom, we said navy, not white." Mom responds with, "I know, but the white looked so good, and it was on sale, and I'm the mother of the bride," trademark, "so I can wear white too. Everyone will love it." Jaws dropped all around. Bridesmaids are seething and red-faced. I'm in fucking awe of the scene before me. The bride buckles down about her mom not wearing this dress, and I'm talking to her about running to the mall and getting one that is better suited color-wise, when suddenly, an errant bridemaid trips onto mom and spills her soda, big red, onto her white dress, which is now pink on the butt. You could have heard a fly fart, it was so quiet. Inside, I'm torn between screaming and hysterical cackling. I didn't even think of having my camera in my face when this happened. So sure enough, mom starts screaming at the bridesmaid. The usual, how could she? She's ruined the day. Her perfect dress is destroyed. She never liked the bridesmaid anyway because she's trash and everyone knows she's a fall down drunk. Just on and on and on. Nobody said anything, and when she finally stopped to take a breath, I interrupted her and said, we can fix this, but you will stop yelling. It was clearly an accident. Spoiler, it wasn't. But you need to stop screaming at her. She rounded on me and said, you're the hired help. Be quiet. I literally laughed in her face and said, lady, you're not paying me to do shit. Your daughter is. You be quiet or you will be excluded from every photo. Test me. She rounded on her daughter, who backed me up and told her mom to chill out and apologize to me and to the bridesmaid or to leave. She then stomped out of the room, still screaming about how the day was ruined, and when the door closed, the bridesmaid, who hadn't said a word yet, simply turned to the bride and said, well, that's handled. You know she won't risk looking like a mess in front of everyone else. Want some wine? Sure enough, by the time the wedding started, mom was wearing a red dress with a ton of cleavage, but you can't win everything, and was all fake smiles for the photos. I'm guessing her daughter said something else to her about me because she kept her mouth closed around me from then on out. Mill in the wild. The time the mother of the groom showed up to the wedding after not having seen her son in 10 years. Hey folks, I'm back with another story. For background, I'm a wedding and portrait photographer, mostly elopement these days, thank God, with stories of the crazy families and guests I've had at some of my events over the years. And today, I have a story about the time a Mill showed up to her son's wedding after 10 years of silence. Basically, I was forewarned that Mill wouldn't be there, but that step Mill was going to be taking the place of Mill in all groom/mom oriented events, and that it would be dandy. I'm all for it. Out of curiosity, I had asked if they invited Mill to the wedding or if she was totally out. The bride informed me that they sent an invite as courtesy, but she never responded, so they assumed she wouldn't attend. Oh, how wrong they were. I show up on the wedding day to the bride being knee-deep in her third bottle of wine. She had some rather alarming family drama of her own go down, but that's a story I feel that if I tell may be too identifiable. And when I arrived, she immediately told me that she was so sorry about how the day was going to go. And I went into crisis dodging mode. I told her that I was determined to make sure that everything went correctly, so she should let me know what to do. She told me that Mill called about 20 minutes before I arrived and asked where she should park. She assumed there would be family-only parking, you see, and as family, she needed a good spot. Mind you, the bride has yet to even meet the Mill. That's how long it's been since they were in contact. So here's this woman demanding princess parking without so much as an introduction, 3 hours before the wedding. We can all see where this is going, right? I proceed to ask how the groom is, and if there's anything I can bring/do/kick to help them out. Bride says he knows she's coming. His best man stopped by to buy all the wine. I quickly made my way to the groom, who was hitting the bottle just as hard as his future wife, and he told me that he decided to let her attend, as it wouldn't be worth the hassle to remove her, but if she made the bride upset, she was out. The ceremony goes fine, as we didn't have time to run into the woman, but when family pictures came about, she wasted no time trying to take over. Now, let me start with this. Casual weddings are fine. They can be really nice, and this was a casual wedding, but it was not a backyard wedding. People treated it like church clothes, not a hoedown. But not Mill. Oh no, y'all. We're talking ripped blue jeans, a 3/4 sleeved shirt with a bejeweled cross on the front and flames on the back, and one of those purses that attaches to the belt clip to hold your phone so that your hands are free to hold your beer. She even had the beer cracked and ready. She was glaringly out of place, is my point. I start lining his family up for pictures, and I ask her to stand next to the bride and for Dad bride/stepmil to stand next to the groom. I had gotten clearance from the couple to include her in pictures, but the groom specifically asked to not have her stand next to him as she hadn't been around. The bride offered the spot next to her as a nicety. Immediately, she CBFs and I said, "Mel, is something up? You're not smiling in any of the photos." She growls at me and says, "How dare you put her next to my son? I'm his mother, not that obviously talking about stepmil. Everyone gets dead silent, and I smiled my million-watt you smile and say, "I don't see a whore here. Rather, I see a family that's trying to get wedding photos done. Shall we continue without the name calling? Otherwise, you're welcome to go wait for the reception to start." She quickly shut up, but was grunting throughout the whole photo lineup. I asked her if she needed a cough drop, and she cut that out. We finished and headed off to the reception, where she proceeded to continue drinking like a fish that was out of water. When it came time for the mother-son dance, my drama feelers were tingling, so I asked the groom what he wanted to do. His stepmother, who was a saint all day, very kindly offered to let his mother dance with him if he wanted. She said, "If this can help repair things, I'll gladly step aside." Absolute saint, I tell you. During the dance, Mil was sobbing into her son's chest, all about how glad she was to have him back and how much she missed him. The groom was stone-faced and angry throughout the whole event, and the bride was taking shots over at the bar, ignoring the whole thing. I thought she would chill out, but Mil decided to spend the rest of the night chasing after me, making my job a hell of a lot harder, because she was trying to explain why she needed to step away from her kids. You see, they wouldn't support me when their father and I split. He cheated on me with that and my kids weren't there for me. I needed to protect myself. On and on with the excuses. I was clearly the first person to stand up to her in ages, so she needed me on her side, I guess. I finally stopped her and said, "Look, Mil, I don't care about your reasons. I'm here to do the job your son and his wife hired me to do, and I will not tolerate you interfering with that anymore. You decided punishing your children for not taking sides against their father was the right decision. You chose to not see your kids for 10 years, missed weddings, the births of your granddaughters, and being a part of family because your feelings were hurt. I have literally no respect for people like you, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Now please, leave me alone and stop drinking. You're making a fool of yourself." I walked away from her and straight to the couple to tell them what I said, just in case I overstepped. The groom hysterically laughed and said, "It's about fucking time someone besides my sister and I got it. Want a beer?" I declined, but after that, she sat at a table and was quiet for the rest of the night. I don't regret what I said at all, and to my knowledge, she has reached out a few times and very few family members are letting her back in. OP is legit me if I were an event photographer. The sass, the pettiness, the zero fucks given. It's safe to say I love her. But honestly though, I think what these two stories have taught us is that courtesy invitations are silly. You should never send an invite to anyone you don't genuinely want at your wedding. And if you know your family is troublesome and is going to cause drama, just save yourself the stress and elope. Because the last thing you want to do on your wedding day is worry about how the attendees are going to behave. Trust me, I know. But anyway, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed these two Just No Mail stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!